There is a static that lives in the air between your ears. It is not a sound you can record, it is a texture, it is a frequency. For the rest of the world, the mind is a living room, tidy, organised, with a door that shuts to keep the noise out. For you, the mind is a train station at rush hour, and the PA system is broken, and every single announcement is being played at the exact same volume, at the exact same time. We have a clinical name for this. We call it Attention Deficit Hyperactivity Disorder. But that name is a lie. It is a failure of language. It suggests a deficit, a lack. It suggests that the tank is empty. But you know the truth. You do not have a deficit of attention. You have an abundance of it. You have a surplus of perception. You notice the hum of the refrigerator and the tag itching your neck and the way the light hits the dust motes and the shifting tone in your partner's voice and the memory of a mistake you made in 2004, all in the same second. You are not blind to the world. You are blinded by it. You are drowning in input. We need to talk about the reality of living with a brain that refuses to filter. We need to strip away the jokes about squirrels and losing keys and look at the architecture of the experience. We need to talk about the exhaustion. The world is built for the neurotypical mind. It is built for the farmers, the people who can plant a seed, wait for it to grow, tend to it daily with consistent, monotonous effort, and harvest it months later. The farmer wakes up, makes a list, and does the list. The farmer perceives time as a linear river, past, present, future. You are not a farmer, you are a hunter. Your brain is wired for the immediate. It is wired for the hunt, for the crisis, for the sudden shift in the wind. You are wired for the now, but you are forced to live in a world of clocks and calendars and 5-year plans. You are a cheetah trying to work in a cubicle. You are a high-performance engine fitted with bicycle brakes. And because you cannot sit still in the cubicle, because you cannot force your brain to care about the mundane, tedious tasks of the farmer's world, you are taught a very specific, very cruel lesson from the moment you enter the school system. You are taught that you are lazy. This is the original wound. This is the scar tissue that wraps around the heart of almost every person with ADHD. Think of the child in the classroom. The teacher is talking. The other children are listening. They are sitting still. Their bodies are quiet. The child with ADHD is trying. God, they are trying so hard. They are gripping the edge of the desk until their knuckles turn white. They are shouting at their own brain. Focus. Just listen. Stop looking at the bird outside. Stop tapping your foot. But the brain doesn't listen. The brain is hungry. It is starving for dopamine. It is looking for stimulation the way a drowning man looks for air. And so the child drifts. And then the teacher's voice cuts through. Pay attention. Stop fidgeting. Why can't you just sit still? And then comes the report card, the phrase that haunts us, the phrase that should be banned from the lexicon of education. He has so much potential if he would only apply himself. If he would only apply himself. It implies choice. It implies that your inability to focus is a moral failing. It implies that you are choosing to be difficult, choosing to be dreamy, choosing to fail. The child learns that their best effort looks like laziness to everyone else. They learn that their brain is broken. They learn that they cannot trust themselves. I want to do the homework. I intend to do the homework. I sit down to do the homework. And 3 hours later, I have reorganized my bookshelf, researched the history of the Roman Empire, and the homework is untouched. This is the gap. the gap between intention and action. For the neurotypical, the bridge between I need to do this and I am doing this is paved and sturdy. For the person with ADHD, that bridge is missing. There is a chasm. You stand on the edge of the chasm, screaming at yourself to jump, to just do the thing, but your legs won't move. This is not laziness. This is executive dysfunction. It is a paralysis. It is the wall of awful. It is the physical sensation of magnetic resistance repelling you from the task. And the shame of that paralysis is a heavy coat you wear every single day. You become a master of the great masking. Just as the unattractive person learns to be funny to survive, the ADHD person learns to be agreeable, or frantic, or invisible. You learn to hide the chaos. You smile and nod in the meeting while your mind is on a different planet. You write everything down because you know that your working memory is a sieve. You become obsessive about alarms and reminders because you know that without them, you are adrift in time. Let's talk about time. For you, time is not a sequence. Time is a feeling. There are only two times for the ADHD brain: now and not now. If a deadline is 2 weeks away, it is in the not now. It doesn't exist. It is an abstraction. You cannot feel it. You cannot touch it. And because your brain is fueled by urgency, by adrenaline, you cannot engage with the task until the deadline moves from not now to now. This leads to the cycle of procrastination and panic. You wait until the night before. You wait until the fear of failure overrides the lack of dopamine. And then the chemicals kick in. The adrenaline floods the system. You enter the hyperfocus. You write the paper in 6 hours. You finish the project at 3:00 a.m. And you succeed. You pull it off. But the cost is your nervous system. You are running on cortisol and terror. You are burning your own furniture to keep the house warm. And the world pats you on the back and says, "Great job." Not seeing the wreckage you left behind in your own mind, you begin to rely on anxiety as a fuel source. You can only work if you are terrified. You can only clean the house if someone is coming over in 20 minutes. You can only function when the gun is to your head. Imagine living your entire life with a gun to your head because it is the only way you can get off the couch. And then there is the emotional volatility. The Rejection Sensitive Dysphoria. Because you have spent a lifetime being told you are too much, too loud, too emotional, too scattered, too intense, you have developed a skin that is paper thin. A criticism that would be a minor annoyance to a neurotypical person feels, to you, like a physical blow. It feels like a catastrophic confirmation of your own worthlessness. A friend doesn't text back? They hate you. A boss corrects your formatting? You're getting fired. You made a typo? You are an idiot. Your emotions are not a dial, they are a switch. You are either at 0 or you are at 100. There is no mild annoyance, there is only rage. There is no simple sadness, there is despair. There is no liking, there is obsession. You fall in love fast and hard. You dive into hobbies with a fervour that frightens people. You buy all the equipment. You learn everything there is to know. You live and breathe pottery, or coding, or guitar. For 3 weeks. And then the dopamine runs out. The novelty fades, and you drop it. And you look at the pile of abandoned hobbies in the corner of your room, the guitar gathering dust, the French language books, the knitting needles, and you see a graveyard of failures. You see proof that you cannot stick to anything, that you are flaky, that you have no discipline. But let us pivot. Let us turn the prism and look at the light from a different angle. Because there is a secret here. There is a reason you are still here. There is a reason this genetic trait has survived through thousands of generations of human evolution. If ADHD was simply a disorder, simply a defect, natural selection would have weeded it out eons ago. But it remains. Why? Because the tribe needs the hunter. When the winter comes and the crops fail, and the farmers are standing in the field not knowing what to do, they turn to you, because you are the one who thrives in chaos. When the emergency happens, when the adrenaline spikes, the neurotypical brain often freezes. It gets overwhelmed. But your brain wakes up. Suddenly, the noise stops, the static clears, the world slows down. You have been practicing for this moment your entire life. You have been running on high alert since you were 5 years old. Crisis is your home turf. You are the one who runs into the burning building. You are the paramedic who stays calm when the blood is everywhere. You are the entrepreneur who pivots the entire company overnight because you saw the market shift before anyone else did. You possess the gift of divergent thinking. The farmer thinks in straight lines. A leads to B, leads to C. You think in a web. You see that A connects to Z, which reminds you of a song, which solves the problem in category D. You make connections that other people simply cannot see. You are the innovator. You are the artist. You are the deep-sea diva of ideas. While they are snorkeling on the surface of logic, you are down in the Mariana Trench of intuition. And let's talk about hyperfocus. Yes, it is hard to control, but when it hits, it is a superpower. When you lock onto something you love, something that lights up your brain, you are unstoppable. You can do 40 hours of work in 4 hours. You can master a skill in a weekend. You can disappear into a creative project and emerge with a masterpiece. The world calls this obsession. We call it flow. The tragedy of the ADHD life is not the brain itself. It is the square hole we are trying to jam our round peg into. The suffering comes from the mismatch. The suffering comes from trying to be a farmer when you are a hunter. The suffering comes from the shame of not being normal. So how do you live with this? How do you stop hating your own mind? First, you must kill the shame. You have to take that report card from the 3rd grade, the one that says potential, and you have to burn it. You are not lazy. You never were. You are neurologically distinct. Your dopamine receptors are different. Your frontal lobe works differently. You are not broken. You are a Ferrari with no gas in the tank. You don't need to try harder to drive. You need to find the fuel. You stop trying to use willpower. Willpower is a limited resource, and you run out of it by 10 a.m. just trying to find your socks. Instead of willpower, you use strategy. You use systems. You stop apologizing for the way you work. You stop trying to do the 9-to-5 grind if it kills you, and you find a rhythm that works for your biology. Maybe you work in bursts. Maybe you work at midnight. Maybe you need body doubling, someone sitting next to you just so you can focus. You outsource the things you cannot do. You accept that you will never be good at filing taxes or remembering birthdays. And instead of beating yourself up, you build a scaffolding around you to support those weaknesses. And you lean into the strengths. You find the things that make your brain light up. You follow the dopamine, but you follow it constructively. You allow yourself to be a jack of all trades. You allow yourself to be a scanner, someone who moves from interest to interest. That is not a failure. That is cross-pollination. You are bringing the pollen of ideas from one flower to another, creating a garden that the specialist could never dream of. You realise that your sensitivity is also your empathy. Because you have felt the pain of rejection, you are the most inclusive person in the room. You notice the person standing in the corner. You feel the mood shift. You are the emotional barometer of your group. You care deeply. You love fiercely. You are not boring. God, you are never boring. To love a person with ADHD is to sign up for an adventure. It is to sign up for spontaneity, for deep conversations at 2 a.m, for sudden road trips, for a life that is technicolor. Yes, the floor might be messy. Yes, you might be late. Yes, you might interrupt because you are just so excited to share the thought before it disappears. But you bring the electricity. We need to reframe the narrative. We need to stop looking at the checklist of symptoms, inattention, hyperactivity, impulsivity, and start looking at the inventory of traits: creativity, resilience, energy, intuition. You have spent your life climbing a mountain with a backpack full of rocks that everyone else told you to carry. The rocks of sit still, be quiet, do it this way, be normal. It is time to take off the backpack. It is time to look at the view. You see things they don't see. You hear the music in the noise. There is a silence at the centre of our culture about the cost of fitting in. We are told to medicate the quirkiness away. We are told to smooth out the edges until we are aerodynamic enough to slide through the corporate tube. But the world doesn't need more smooth edges. The world is sliding toward uniformity. The algorithms are making us all the same. We need the jagged edges. We need the people who don't fit. We need the people whose minds jump the track. You are the glitch in the matrix, but the glitch is where the magic happens. So, when the static gets too loud, when the executive dysfunction pins you to the couch, when the shame creeps in like a cold fog, remember the hunter. You are not made for the cage. You are made for the wild. Forgive yourself for the laundry. Forgive yourself for the forgotten email. Forgive yourself for the unfinished project. Look at your mind not as a broken machine, but as a wild, untamed instrument. It is difficult to play. It requires a level of skill and patience that most people will never understand. But when you learn to play it, when you learn to work with it rather than against it, the music is unlike anything else on earth. You are the storm. Do not apologize for the rain. Do not apologize for the thunder. The storm brings the water that allows the farmers to survive. You are valid. Your struggle is real. The tax you pay is high, but the asset you hold is invaluable. Stay wild. Stay curious. And keep the noise. The noise is just the sound of the universe talking to you all at once. Listen to it.